Over on Instagram, Madeline Georgetta wrote, also, dieting is extremely prevalent. An estimated 45 million Americans go on a diet each year, and Americans spend $33 billion each year on weight loss products. Alan Roberts of Every DDF replied, Americans spend approximately $245 billion on type 2 diabetes each year, another approximate $100 billion on other obesity issues. What else you got? Madeline Georgetta replied, I don't have anything for someone who doesn't want to engage in a meaningful conversation. Ew. If you want to have a fair, respectful conversation, you can DM me. That was meaningful and just as respectful as you were speaking to the person you quoted with the spending on fitness. The simple fact the valid number you gave is about 1/10 the combined valid numbers I gave doesn't make them disrespectful. As for a DM conversation, we can discuss facts, statistics, and viewpoints, right? You put information out in public. What is the harm in seeing valid statistical, provable counterpoints? I couldn't find Madeline Georgetta's response to that, and it seemed like she deleted the whole conversation shortly after because I couldn't find it at all. You decide for yourself what you think that means. Jordan Syat posted, a client with obesity confided in me saying she feels guilty for wanting to lose weight because many have told her wanting to lose weight is a sign of self-hate. That is wrong. You can love yourself and want to lose weight, be healthier. They are not mutually exclusive. Temper3 replied, yes, you should be appreciative of your body, mind, etc., but that doesn't mean never better it. Yeah, I was going to buy better fitting clothes, but I've worn these since high school and I love myself. New clothes means I hate my current self. Yeah, I was going to learn algebra, but I love myself already and changing myself is self-hate. Yeah, I was going to teach my kid how to ride a bike, but she's fine just the way she is, so teaching her something new is dangerous self-hate. Yeah, I was going to help my toddler potty train, but he's fine just the way he is. Don't want to promote self-hate. Someone replied directly to Jordan, so frustrated with posts I see that insinuate, if not outright tell you, that wanting to be lean is an eating disorder, and the only way to love yourself is to allow sleeves of Oreos. Can't wait for that trend to end and see the same people post about being lean and how eating Oreos is the devil's work. A Dance of Dragons posted a picture of Dwayne Johnson. Can we all give it up for the patron saint of the obese who has somehow become a figurehead of the fat acceptance movement? Zeron50 replied, I don't understand the joke. Someone please explain. Noob Guy 27 replied, BMI is always wrong because Dwayne Johnson is technically obese. Levag de Lubli posted, everyone's quoting this with, if you wouldn't glorify anorexia, why are you glorifying obesity? Please shut up. Y'all sound ignorant all over my timeline. You can be fat and healthy. It's your own personal bias that you see a fat person and assume they are unhealthy. Algaze Preach replied, you can have anorexia and for some time still be healthy. Still not good. Elmir 2000 showed us, your intuition isn't the one telling you to eat all the chips. Unless you're restricting, in which case it is, to keep you from starving yourself to death. When I started eating intuitively, one of my concerns was that I really and believed that foods were engineered to make us crave and overeat them. I had read an article interviewing a person who used to work for one of the big food companies, and he admitted that making addictive foods was one of their goals, and a big part of the reason he had to leave. How could I really trust myself without diets if that was the case? For me, there are foods that are easier to eat for reasons outside of hunger and have too much of. But it's not my intuition telling me to eat those things. My rebel, yes, but not my intuition. My intuition tells me to have chips on the side of my sandwich, not while I'm bored watching TV. My intuition tells me to switch to something better at satisfying hunger, not keep eating chips until they are gone. But if I only do what I want in the moment without taking into consideration how that choice will make me feel, some foods can make it tempting to ignore body signals telling me to make better choices. Intuitive eaters, though, don't have problems with these foods. It's only those that don't eat intuitively that do. Someone somewhere wrote, I'm fat and scared. Why won't anyone in the healthy at every size community answer me? I've sent messages, have been diagnosed with diabetes and told to lose weight, change my diet and exercise to help. And yet the healthy at every size and anti-fat phobic community seems to revile the idea of losing weight. In fact, says that it's actually a bad thing, that it's fat phobic. And I'm so confused now, I don't know where to turn. I've been turned on my head by fat phobia and turned on my head by the anti-fat phobia community. All I want to do is not die. As I have had family members lose their limbs and go blind from diabetes, and I'm terrified. I want to be healthy. No one will give me a straight answer about how to live a healthy life. Everyone is so busy politicizing everything that no one will talk to me without BS. Darth Adnell replied, a medical professional told me what to do to save my life, but darn it, the internet people know better. They're just not answering. Or in other words, listen to your doctor. Soup Dumpling posted a picture saying that ice cream is every bit as healthy as yogurt. One of the claims made about ice cream is that it is a great source of calcium, fat, and carbs. Kisa replied, great source of fat and carbs? Oh, thank goodness. Finally, I found one. It's just so hard to find a good source of fat and carbs in the Western diet. Okume posted a reaction to the ads last week that said obesity causes cancer. So I guess I'm going to write a thread about cancer research's current campaign against obesity. I'll try and make it short. Something I've seen on Twitter is the idea that debate seems more about how these clear risks should be presented to avoid offending anyone, which was never a concern with smokers. I've lifted these words from a tweet. So here's my argument. A lot of our culture fetishizes smoking. Everyone is aware of the adverse health risk of smoking, but it's still presented as something cool people do. This is present in various things, for instance, movies of David Lynch and Tarantino, movies like Fight Club, TV shows like Mad Men, and in comics too. John Constantine smokes constantly, and so does every single character created by Warren Ellis. All very male-centric, I guess. On the other hand, the same culture has constantly fat-shamed people. In movies, the fat person is the butt of the joke. For instance, the recent depiction of Fat Thor in Endgame. Or they're treated with utter disgust. Tarantino has a bit in Pulp Fiction where Bruce Willis says he'd punch his girlfriend in the stomach if she got a pot belly. So really, it's not about offending fat people. Culture has already coded the shame and deride us in offensive terms. And the CRUK campaign has continued this trend. You could speak about the underlying causes of cancer without fat-shaming people, but the campaign is too lazy to do that and uses common fat-shaming tropes. Anyway, you can jump in to say I'm way off base here, and if you can do that in a non-fat-shaming way, that would be cool. If you're going to do fat-shaming in any way in my mentions, don't even bother. 2 seconds later, thread over, peace. Pretty hard to react in that time frame she gave. U/S brings us the tale of a woman complaining about her roommates. Then I got into my apartment. I met my roommate, tall, tan, thin, blonde, maybe a size 2 on a bad day. Very pretty. She was very nice, though. Her roommate had done study abroad for the summer. The other 2 girls I met were similar. Tall, thin, pretty, a cutesy-looking Asian girl and a fierce-looking Latina girl. I felt like I was on the diversity shoot of the Victoria's Secret catalog. They were all really good friends and they were all very nice to me, but I literally can't believe they're real people. In the morning, they all take a spin or hot yoga class together and have avocado toast for breakfast. Then class, green juice, gym, salad, and for dinner always chicken breast or salmon with veggies. And at first I thought they were maybe model wannabes, but they're just normal students. And I've been invited to their hiking weekend trips or weekday workouts, but I felt so uncomfortable around them it makes me squirm. The thought of them all sunbathing on the pool deck together already sends shivers down my spine. And I almost feel bad. They've been acting nothing but nice to me, but the constant talk around food and exercise while maintaining such a small frame is so crazy to me. I am honestly a little shaken by it, but I don't know how to make it stop. Mocha Latte Man replied, stick your fingers in your ears and say, la la la. Dorcat brings us the following post. If diets really work, you wouldn't be on your 87th diet right now. Scaredy Cat replied, actually they do. If you stay on one diet instead of quitting and being shocked when your old habits make you fat again. Auntie Apocalypse replied, the stuff I did before that made me fat and sick still makes me fat and sick? Pika pika? The following was posted by Febrile Sneakers. It was found in the New York Times comment section. BMI is only one measure. What about all the others? BP, blood chemistry, cholesterol, etc. You can be healthy at every size. Would you reject athletes with BMI over their limits? Seems to be those doctors have a narrow view of what health means. Chemical Pudding replied, can we all agree that athletes are top performers, but not in top health? Doing professional sports really isn't that great for your body. Sports persons are very aware of this. Avocado Lump brings us, it's okay to eat out of boredom, sadness, or because food tastes good. Windowpane replied,
It's far healthier, both physically and mentally, to fill that boredom with productive activity and deal with that sadness, its root causes in therapy or other constructive methods. To the last point, developing an addictive reward-centered relationship in your brain with foods like sugar is actually not good for you, so no. Eating endless amounts of sugar just because it tastes good is also disordered thinking. Whiskey tastes good to me, but that wasn't a justification for the harm it was causing me. Wanfi UWU brings us,
The Illuminati is poisoning our pancakes.
Can anyone give me advice for my very unique situation? I'm 19, living with my parents, hopefully about to start school. I'm trying to lose 30 pounds and have a good gym grind going. But I feel like crap because of my eating. My family eats pancakes, pizza, burgers, cake, and chips. Nothing else. My parents are both obese and crazy conspiracy theorists. I asked if they could start buying healthier food, and they said, it doesn't matter what you eat. The government and the Illuminati poison all of our food anyways, which is what makes us fat. This is not an exaggeration or anything. They literally told me the Illuminati poisoning their pancakes is why they're fat. Should I start using my own money to buy groceries to help myself get healthy? Is there any way I can help my parents? Or is Illuminati making us fat too far gone already?
Black Dog Lao replied, As a member of the Illuminati myself, I suggest he goes for the buy his own groceries option. We at the Illuminati Food Poisoning Institute found it impossible to hide the taste of our vile concoctions in fresh veg. There is just no way to ramp up the added sugars in a carrot that has been pulled straight from the ground and sent to the supermarket. We have a saying at the Institute, it's not really processed food, till it's been processed by us food. Metadom brings us,
Stop judging yourself for emotional eating. It's just one tool in the emotional toolbox. Boy, if I had a nickel for every time I heard someone shaming either themselves or others for emotionally eating, let's just get one thing out in the open. The only reason we, as a society, disparage emotional eating is because we fear weight gain. End of story.
Angel Uscato replied, Pretty sure I get mad at myself for emotional boredom eating because I know I should have better ways of dealing with that than grabbing a bunch of food and stuffing it in my mouth. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure if the next one's a parody or not. Dorkita posted from a research paper, abstract. Fat feline and canine bodies are increasingly medicalized in stories from veterinary journals that describe a rising tide of pet obesity. The construction of obesity epidemics and pandemics drive the storylines of these journals that claim fat bodies are at risk of increased pain during life and early death. Despite the authoritarian tone of the stories, few certainties and agreements exist within the literature. Yet the stories weave together a fat-phobic culture, techno-science, humanism, and neoliberalism to shape the type of choices available for responsible pet owners and practicing veterinarians. Laced with fat phobia, veterinary knowledges have the potential power to literally reshape the bodies of companion animals. For more accurate descriptions of reality and more diverse futures, science needs new stories that recognize and construct heterogeneous ways of being and relating within and between species. Ranison replied, Stop killing your pets by making them fat and blaming it on everything but giving them too much food. Holy spit. Don't claim that Sweet Mankini Binge eats because she was called fat by cousin Ada and now feels bad. Grow up and take some responsibility in your life, if not for yourself, then at least for the pets you take care of. And also, for all that is holy, Google what words mean before adding them to your word salad. Humanism? You realize that's an eternally good concept, right? Melody Cat brings us a conversation from Twitter. One person writes, Obesity kills people. No, doctors not being able to look past a person's obesity and find out why they're actually sick kills people. Bacon Devil replies, Having huge amounts of fat suffocating your organs and increasing complications like cancer and diabetes certainly couldn't kill people. That would be silly. Liren brings us a story that looks exactly like a parody, but frighteningly, it might actually be true. Someone writes, I think I might start shouting this from rooftops. So many of my clients, as I'm sure people everywhere, are just wanting to put in the physical work via exercise, totally unaware that the real work is done mentally. Did you know that when you take on other people's energy, people-pleasing, being an empath, poor boundaries, etc., it can store as fat? Most people do this unknowingly. They're unfamiliar with how to release energy that is not theirs, so their body hoards it, and stuck energy is also known as fat. It is so important to prioritize yourself and your mindset on top of working out.
I was a perfect example of killing myself in the gym without doing any of the emotional work and seeing little to no results. Now that I've done the work, I love the body I'm in. I enjoy my workouts so much more. I'm not torturing myself in the gyms just so I can eat. My self-talk is all about loving and accepting myself, and my mind is clearer and more calm than it's ever been. Please, please, please do not let a number on the scale define you. Work on your mindset. Learn to love and accept yourself with where you're at right now. Have compassion for everything you're doing to better yourself, and know that you have the power to change. You just need to make it a priority and release the fat that isn't yours. #empath. If you need help with taking a step toward this direction, launching Empath School next week.
Auntie Apocalypse replied, "Wow, it's like the law of attraction BS, but for fat and body composition. What energy do I need to get stuck inside of me to increase my lean tissue and strength? I'd especially like it to stick inside my chest muscles, triceps, and hamstrings, which are all on the weak side. Should I use a vision board?